ORF and Samir Saran and the MEA have brought seemingly the entire world to Delhi. The lobby of this hotel is just jammed with friends that I have known over the decades working on this great relationship. Quad friends as well, particularly lots of friends from Australia and Japan, along with our Indian friends. It's a delight to see the intellectual tumult, the Samudra Mantran that is happening here. And I think it's great because it shows India's convening power in bringing the world together. It shows the values of India. And I feel particularly it shows the Quad values that are shared by Washington and Canberra and Tokyo and Delhi. So I'm thrilled to be here, real happy. I think we've got to focus on our technological collaboration. We've got to focus on supply chain reliability. We've got to focus on our technological edge. We, the free people of the world, have to stick together. Our enemies would wish to have a different course for humanity. So I congratulate ORF, MEA, and the Indian government and people for this event.
Mr. Kashyap, you've also served as the CDA at the US Embassy. Of course, you're a career diplomat. You're now the head of the USIBC. We've seen a lot of discussions here at the Raisina about how there seems to be a multilateralism in disarray. What do you see as a path forward, especially between the North and the South gap that definitely needs to be bridged?
Well, the only answer is collaboration and cooperation. My father served the United Nations for over 3 decades. He was a proud international civil servant. Until there's a better form of government out there, we have to deal with the organs and structures we have. I think that those structures have, over the decades, contributed to peace and security, and especially the great rise in prosperity that has happened around the world in the past 70 years, undergirded, I would say, as a proud taxpayer, by the American government and the American people and the American military, and increasingly with our partners and allies. Look at what India is doing in terms of ensuring the safety and security of sea lanes around the entire Indian Ocean.
Right, it's not part of the naval coalition, but it is doing its bit in responding to distress calls in the Red Sea.
Absolutely. So we have to collaborate, we have to cooperate, we have to consult with one another. This is how humanity is going to solve these problems. And having a great democracy like India lend its great strength to upholding the existing global norms is very good for India and the world and for America. So I appreciate that things are not perfect, but they're much better than they could be. Think about the sweep of history before World War II and before the organs and structures that we have now. Things were much more grim. And I think that countries like India and the United States not only share the same values about those global norms, but uphold them.
And finally, what is your take on External Affairs Minister Dr. Jaishankar recently saying, in fact, I think it was to a German daily, that, Russia has never hurt our interests?
Well, I think no country has done more than the United States to try to advance India's standing in world affairs in the last 20 years. Dr. Jaishankar worked extensively on the nuclear deal that transformed India's posture toward the world and sort of created almost a pathway or a passport for India to really begin a very rapid acceleration in world affairs. So, I think the U.S. has a pretty good track record as well of being friendly to India and helping ensure the peace and security not only of America, but of India and the entire world. And we appreciate so much that partnership with India. It's consequential on a global scale, and it's good for free people everywhere.
Thank you so much for taking the time out.